Hi, I'm Lucky Ladybug, and this is Pippin, and we wanted to talk about what everybody's been talking about, Wish. I know everyone and their dog has done videos on Wish, and videos I usually agree with, by the way. Some very, very good thoughts out there. And I finally saw it because it just went on Disney Plus this week. So I have some thoughts too. And some of them I haven't heard people talking much about. So I decided to make a video to discuss them. First of all, right off the bat, and this is probably no surprise to anybody that knows me, I'm going to say Magnifico is clearly not a villain. He does not behave in villainous ways until he uses the dark magic book. He says more than once that he founded the Kingdom of Roses in the hopes of preventing anything like the destruction of his childhood family and home to happen again. Now, I think he's telling the truth on that. He's obviously traumatized from that horror, and he wants to keep hold of his power because he feels that's the best way to protect his people. Perhaps his methods are in some ways misguided, and of course he's flawed with his conceit, but that doesn't make him a villain. If every conceited person was a villain, good grief. You know, he has the best of intentions. He clearly loves and cherishes the wishes, despite not planning to grant all of them. I don't believe any of that was an act he was putting on. It was very, very genuine. His love for the wishes really came through, and that's completely opposite to how he starts behaving after he gets hold of the dark magic book and uses it. As many people have pointed out, he certainly wouldn't even be able to grant all the wishes. There'd be some that wouldn't even be right to grant, even if initially they seem okay. Maybe some, would even encroach on others' rights. Like if someone wanted to make someone else fall in love with them, that would not be good at all. But when he loses his temper and screams at Asha, "I decide," she really pushed him to it with her repeated insistence on her own way. He was very sad and disappointed that she was already asking things of him right off the bat. But he was trying to stay calm and collected, and she just kept pushing and pushing until he finally snapped, which is a completely human reaction. He is the king. He really does have to decide what to do with each wish that he's voluntarily given. That's a big point that a lot of the videos have pointed out. These people give them up voluntarily. They don't have to do it. They want to do it. They know the risks. They're willing to go through with it. I mean, they talk all in the early parts of the movie about wondering, does it hurt to have the wish removed? And at first, Asha honestly feels that it doesn't hurt. It's just when she starts seeing how beautiful the wishes are, she starts thinking maybe something's wrong with the system. And maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But just because Magnifico is using that system doesn't make him a villain, because he's trying to do the right thing for his people, and they willingly participate. And some people feel like Asha is the villain. Now, I feel like she also has good intentions, but she's young and doesn't understand, and she also seems quite misguided. Many have lamented that the story didn't go that Asha messes everything up by trying to grant all the wishes, and then she and Magnifico have to fix it. There's some really, really neat fan fiction stories with this premise. Perhaps someday we'll get a Twisted Tale book that has something similar happen. We can dream, right? The thing I find the most troubling about the film is how Disney was so determined to have Magnifico be a villain, and a supposedly irredeemable one. They made everyone else look pretty bad to do this. Once he uses the dark magic book, everyone believes that how he is under the influence of the dark magic is just how he's really been all along, and turns against him. No one's grateful to him for founding the kingdom or for the peace they've had all the years they've lived there. And Queen Amaya, who has known him for literally decades in happy marriage, turns against him after several hours of seeing him under the power of dark magic. Seriously, what? How could she do that? I know I know. I've been spoiled by the beautiful redemption arcs in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where characters never give up on their loved ones and trying to save them from the corruption of dark magic. Look at Joey and Mai in Season 4 of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Yusei and Kallen in the Dark Signers arc of 5Ds. The whole reason these arcs are powerful and beautiful is because they never decide their loved ones are beyond hope. And yet Disney gives us this trash idea that everyone forgets all the good Magnifico did for them for years, and even his wife gives up fighting for him. Okay, sure, she tries to find out if the spell can be broken, but even then, did you notice it's an afterthought? She says, or at the very least, break its hold over him. That's what she's looking to find. That should be her first consideration, not her last. And when they supposedly find there's no hope, she quickly forgets that idea. She doesn't even try to get through to him or reason with him after that. And when everything's over, she just abandons him to the dungeon without remorse or regret or a second thought. She seemed so genuinely loving and caring before that. Either the script did her dirty too, or she really wasn't so great to begin with. And then there's the Simon mess. Others have pointed out the hypocrisy and how the characters forgive what he did almost instantly, but they have no forgiveness or understanding for Magnifico. Simon betrayed Asha before he was mind-controlled by the dark magic, so that was really him in control, and he still did it. And yet it's all forgiven immediately, with everyone feeling like it's understandable that he wanted to believe Magnifico, as they all wanted to do. No one thinks about how hard Magnifico worked to keep them safe and happy for decades. His wife doesn't even care. This is just really bad writing. Disney was determined that they wanted a irredeemable villain, and they pitched Magnifico as being like the classic villains, like Maleficent from the original Sleeping Beauty, but he just doesn't come across that way at all. There's been many videos that have pointed this out, and I felt the same way then when I saw the film. So that is just something that really bugs me. Anybody that knows me knows I have this really soft spot for any antagonistic character that I feel is redeemable. And Magnifico clearly falls into this category. He wasn't even a villain until he used the dark magic book. He was just misguided at the very worst. And then Disney just decided to throw everything out the window because they were so determined to have a irredeemable villain. And I'm honestly wondering if they even know how to write such a villain anymore, because they think they did that really good with Magnifico, and they really did not. So, on to lesser matters. Like others have complained, I found the whole everybody is made of stardust plot element handled poorly. You're a Star is a weird song, and I think it could have explained it better. I guess they were trying not to be so scientific in the lyrics, but it's just a really strange sequence and element. I think it could have been handled much better. If I didn't already know that scientists say such things, I'd be thoroughly confused by the song. I'm sure little kids would be baffled, unless they're teaching that in kindergarten now or whatever. But it was just really weird. They didn't really come out and explain it. They didn't even seem to actually say you're made of stardust. They kind of tiptoed around the subject. It was very strange, because you could also take you're a star as just a symbolic thing. But they meant it literally, and I really don't think the sequence conveyed that very well. I wasn't terribly pleased by most of the other songs either. Some of them felt out of place in the setting and time period. Honestly, I have no problem with pop-type songs in Disney films. Moana and Encanto have great songs as far as I'm concerned, but the Wish songs largely didn't really grab me. Welcome to Roses is probably my favorite number for its cheer and happiness and excitement. It's beautiful. The visuals and the lyrics are just happy, and everybody's happy. It's a wonderful song. There are entire videos picking apart what's terrible about the songs from a musician's point of view, so I'm not going to dwell too much on that. I don't have a lot of technical know-how regarding music to be able to add anything to their complaints, like the bars, the downbeats, whatever. They're all wrong, people are saying. So yeah, I don't have any commentary on that. I do think, like pretty much everyone else thinks, that the villain song is ludicrous, and I thought so long before I even knew what Magnifico is really like. Something felt off from that first preview I heard of the song months before the film came out. It sounded too funny to be a serious villain song. Magnifico getting randomly distracted was so strange, and I'm honestly tired of seeing villains like that. It seems like villains in kids' movies are like that a lot these days. I don't know, maybe I just think that because it annoys me so much. I also found knowing what I know now to be a very modern sounding song, especially with the actual drums in it, and seriously, you'd think the kids would know not to make so much noise when anyone could come upon them there. Seriously. I would say that scene really shows how young they are, that doesn't even occur to them. I do think the scene of Queen Amaya finding them and them being alarmed before she reveals she's on their side was kind of epically cool, even though I don't like that she turned against her husband so soon after he fell to the dark magic. A lot of people have also complained about the animation style. I personally found the animation fine, wasn't too jarred by the differences in the 2D and 3D elements like I have occasionally been when seeing some early CGI attempts from, like, say, 20 years ago. Looked really out of place. But I suppose I'm easy to please on something like that. I would say the oddest thing for me is how Star looks compared to everyone else. There's something in those styles that isn't quite meshing, but you know, that's a minor thing to me. Who cares about that when the plot is so messed up? The shout outs to other Disney properties were sometimes fun and sometimes what in the heck. I actually got a kick out of Magnifico's Peter Pan and Mary Poppins references. That was funny. On the other hand, I wasn't sure what I thought of apparently featuring Little John from Robin Hood and Bambi from, well, Bambi. I prefer to think the Robin Hood characters simply live in an alternate universe where animals developed to be on two legs and anthropomorphic, rather than they were once regular animals from our world. I'm pretty sure Bambi lives later than when the movie may take place. I've already tentatively dated it. It has to be no earlier than about the 1530s, because One Wish is a woman playing a violin, and that's the earliest date when we know they existed. I would guess it takes place soon after that, judging from how it definitely looks medieval. I also wasn't sure what to make of the final Peter Pan reference at the end, with the guy who wants to build a flying machine. I mean, that guy they showed at the end was clearly not a kid, so he didn't seem like he could be the Peter Pan from Neverland. I'm really not sure what Disney was going for there. Now, I also found I actually liked Valentino for the most part. I wasn't thrilled with the deep voice from the trailers and clips, but in the actual movie I wasn't too bothered. I might actually get a plush of him. There's plenty of different ones around. I'm a sucker for cute animals, obviously. So in the end, my feelings are rather mixed. I don't hate the film as much as some do, but it's not a favorite, and couldn't be because of how Magnifico was handled. If Disney wanted a villain like the classic ones, they went about it all wrong. Magnifico deserved way better than he got, and I will never not be upset at how ungrateful everyone else was and how even his wife gave up on him and didn't fight for him and try to save him. Disney still could have had him unable to be saved from the dark magic if they really wanted that, but they should have had his loved ones really try anyway. For them to just snub him completely is honestly the worst thing about the film. So yeah, thumbs down, Disney. Way, way down. We know you can do better than this. Everyone loved Once Upon a Studio. It's kind of sad how a little 7-minute short captured more of the magic of Disney than a 90-minute movie. But those are the times we live in, apparently. Now, I've been hearing all this stuff about the movie, about Magnifico, since it came out. And it really, really upset me. So long before I ever saw the movie, I wanted to get like this, one of the dolls, and couldn't afford the Disney Store set, so I had to get these ones from Target. But I am like shocked at the inferior quality of these guys. The clothes kind of almost feel and sound like paper, and of course there's no cloth pants on Magnifico, and this cape doesn't have the star pattern that it's supposed to on the back side of it. So I don't know, I was really disappointed in the quality of the dolls. Like, this is Mattel that made these. I would expect better from Mattel. Really would. Now, at least the faces look really good here on both of them. So I love that. I love the pretty hair. It's very soft. But I'm really disappointed in the quality of the clothes. I would really expect better from Mattel since they make Barbie. But looks like if I want to get really high quality clothes on a Magnifico doll, I gotta somehow get hold of the Disney Store release. Now, Disney still makes amazing dolls. I'm very disappointed in a lot of the things about Wish, but Disney definitely still makes great dolls. And I think I'll do a video soon comparing these kind of modern Mattel dolls with some of the Disney Store dolls. But for now, I think we're gonna wrap this one up. So, this is Lucky Ladybug and Pippin saying goodbye.